Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about some tips I have for online school. Just how to stay motivated, how to study, and other things like that. Alright, so the first tip that I have is to make a detailed plan of what you have to do each week. So basically either get a planner or use online calendars or anything like that. And I like to use the weekly spreads, but you can also do like the daily ones. So for that, basically, I just write out every single assignment that I have to do each day. And then like I also put in little boxes kind of thing when it's due, so that way I don't miss assignments. Yeah, that's basically what I do for that. I have missed a couple of assignments before, but that's because I did not pay attention to due dates. So I think that writing it out and when it's due is extremely important. So that's that. Another tip along with that is to try and get everything done before the weekend. Having everything done during the week is extremely helpful, and yes, so I highly recommend getting everything done by Friday. Know that for when you start planning out your week. Next piece of advice that I have is to reach out to professors, advisors, or if you're like my school, like a success coach. So the reason for this is that it's always helpful to get any advice, ask questions, get any tips for how to do better in any of your classes or just overall. So I recommend doing that and reaching out to those people. And I need to breathe. So don't be afraid to ask for help. I have always been the type of person that just doesn't like to ask for help, and I recently just talked to all my professors and asked like how I'm doing in their class and what can I do better to improve. Kind of along with that is to attend any SI sessions, which are like supplemental instruction sessions, or any like help sessions that your teachers have. So right now I'm taking anatomy and chemistry, and there's an SI for both classes, and there's also a help session every week that the teacher holds for chemistry. So I would say that attending those are extremely helpful. Take notes. The next tip I have is to make a group chat or join a group chat, whether on GroupMe, Snapchat, anything like that with your classmates, because it allows you to communicate with each other, builds friendships, which you don't get to really talk to many people since it's online. So I think reaching out to your fellow classmates is something that's helpful, and also you guys can chat about the class together, ask any questions to even just your classmates. It's a little bit quicker to do it that way if they know. If not, then just reach out to, like I said, either professor or whoever else you can talk to. So I would say that having a group chat or a couple group chats is extremely helpful. The next tip I have is something that's really helpful for me, is to have a clean space. Having a clean space helps me to have like a clear mind. So if I know that my things are well and organized, then that just helps me. I don't know what it is, but it just helps me to kind of work better. I don't know what the science is behind it, but it definitely helps. So just clear off your desk, your room, or anything like that. The next tip that I have is to try to change up your space. So if you can, go to like any coffee shops or libraries or even someone else's house, like a friend's house or anything like that. It is helpful to get a change up of space, especially if you get bored really quickly like me. And it definitely keeps me more motivated. Don't forget your mask. It's really important to stay safe, so if you do go to a coffee shop or even the library, just make sure you're wearing your mask to protect others and yourself as well, because COVID is still happening, it's still here. So I know it's uncomfortable, but just do it to keep everyone else safe. even if you don't want to keep yourself safe, you gotta think of others. The next tip that I have is to take study breaks. So when you're studying for an exam or a quiz, I think it's really important to take breaks so you don't overwork yourself. I'm sure most of you have heard of the Podoromo, I think, technique. Basically, you just set a timer and work for a certain amount of minutes, and then after those minutes are up, then you will take a break for a certain amount of minutes, and then you'll just repeat the cycle until you are done. Also, something that is really helpful with study breaks is to watch YouTube videos. What kind of videos, you may be asking? Is like study with me's. A lot of them show them doing like the Podoromo technique, so you can just do it with them. The next tip that I have is to study for exams and quizzes more than a day in advance, because I have been known to procrastinate, and it is obviously not good, and then I end up not doing well on exams or quizzes. So I would say that if you can study like a week in advance, it would be extremely beneficial to you. So just try not to procrastinate. I know it's hard, but just doing a little bit each day definitely helps your brain a lot. So along with studying, my next tip is some apps that you can use, or just websites in general. So I use Quizlet and I use Chegg. So Quizlet is free. You can upgrade to Pro if you would like, but you don't have to. So basically you can make flashcards and they just help you study. You can either, so like I said, you can either make them or you can just use other people's. You just type in and search whatever class you're looking for, and they have a ton of options. You can even search specifically for your class. So highly recommend Quizlet. And then Chegg, it is about $15 a month, but in my personal opinion, I think it's worth it. So you can search whatever problem you are struggling with. For Chegg, you can look at each step. Not all the problems have it, but a lot of them do, and it shows like what steps they took to get the answer. So that's really helpful for studying or just homework problems when you don't really know what you're doing and you can't figure out the answer. So highly recommend Chegg. And like I said, it is $15 a month, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Okay, I have another tip, and it's kind of when studying, to play relaxing music, like either ocean waves or tree sounds, rain sounds, anything like that. I think is super relaxing. It's when studying, so you don't have any songs with lyrics in it, because then at least for me, I just get distracted and listen to the songs instead of doing what I'm supposed to do. So I recommend like no lyric music. You can also search lo-fi beats on YouTube or even on Spotify, and I love listening to those. It's super nice. And with lo-fi on YouTube, it has like this aesthetic like background, which is super fun to look at. Another important thing is to limit your phone time. I have an issue with procrastinating, and it's really hard for me to stay focused a lot of the time. So I would suggest setting your phone aside, putting it on do not disturb, or even setting like a phone time limit where you cannot access many apps on your phone for a certain amount of time. So just limiting your phone time and social media, it really helps. So that way you can stay focused. So the last tip that I have is you have to take care of yourself. So this means like eating right, drinking enough water, and taking breaks, like I said, just resting, and don't stress out if you can help it. Those are all of the tips that I have. If you guys have any more tips, just leave them down in the comments below, and I will definitely reply. Also, just a disclaimer, I have not mastered any of these things at all, trust me. So I just used this video kind of to help me get a better idea of what I should be doing as well. So just letting you know that I am not perfect in any of these areas as well, but it's definitely something to try and work on and have it as a goal to get better at these things, so that way you can improve and be a better student. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.